Hi y'all, this is So Blessed. Welcome to the Blessed Place. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. I was just watching my DVR and watching an older episode of Oprah. I think maybe it came on earlier last week about the lady who was assistant principal and she accidentally left her little girl in the car all day long. And at the end of the day, she discovered that a little girl had been left in the car while she was at work, and the little girl died. And the mother was just talking about her overwhelming guilt and how she had been trying to be super mom and trying to be all things to all people, and how she gotten caught up in just being so busy, and she got out of her routine because normally the husband takes both the little girls to daycare, but this particular day he had something else to do, and he asked her to take the girl, one of the daughters, to daycare, and she just completely forgot. I was just watching that, and I know it's so, just like they said on the show, it's so easy for us to look at that and judge and say, how could anyone forget their child in the car all day long? But my heart really went out to her because I know how that can happen. I personally have not done that, but I definitely can see how you can just get overwhelmed by life itself, and especially as a parent. And I can remember one day my sister had asked me to pick up her daughter. This was a few years ago, and her daughter was in daycare, and she might have been about 3 or 4 years old. And I picked her daughter up from daycare, and I was supposed to take her home with me for a while and then eventually take her to her mom later that evening. And I had my niece in the car. I picked her up from daycare, had her in the car with me, and she was real quiet in the back seat. I don't know if she was asleep or just quiet. And I'm just riding along, and I'm on my way to home. And y'all, I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw my niece, my sister's daughter, and I was horrified because I totally forgot she was in the car with me. No, I didn't leave her in the car, and it didn't go that drastic, but I was absolutely horrified and overwhelmingly thankful that I hadn't made it home to my driveway, because I probably would have forgotten she was in the car, because I had driven maybe 20 minutes down the road. And I looked at, and tears just started to flow from my eyes, because in just gratitude that I had not made it home to that driveway, because I was horrified that I had completely forgotten in that 25 minute span that my niece was sitting in that car seat. So that, I just said that to say that rather than judging people, sometimes you never know when the same thing or something very similar could have happened to you. But the main point of this video is the lady and other ladies in the audience and people who had called in were talking about trying to be that perfect mom and trying to be all things to all people. And what I just want to encourage all the parents, and especially mothers out there, is that your presence is much more important than perfection. Get that in your heads, ladies. Presence is more important than perfection. Perfection should not even be the goal, but your presence, showing up fully. Because in our quest to be perfect, a lot of times we are not present. And that is what's most important to our children. Being present, being at the sporting events, being at the PTA, being able to send them off with a breakfast, or being able to walk them to the bus stop, or being able to pick them up from school, or being able to attend an after school program, or being able to spend a Saturday together, or being able to have sleepovers and have their friends over, or being the house that everybody in the neighborhood wants to be at. Those are the things that are most important to children. And I'm not just talking at you as some expert. I'm just sharing with you what I know and the things that I have done correctly and the mistakes that I have made. Because one thing that still resonates with me from raising my daughter, I raised her as a single parent and I worked really hard. My normal shifts were 12-hour shifts, but oftentimes I worked 14 and 16-hour shifts. And thankfully, my sister, love to talk Deb, she was part of the village that helped me raise my daughter. But even though my daughter is 20 years old, she's away at college, we enjoy a beautiful, beautiful relationship. But one of the many things that she said, because she was wise and precocious beyond her years, is, Mom, you don't have to work so hard. If we just stop eating out so much, you wouldn't have to work so hard. Because I don't need all that stuff. And that just resonates with me and even just touches my heart to this day. To realize that she's 20, she's gone. We've lost that time. Yes, I spent a lot of time with my daughter. When I wasn't at work, I was with my daughter. But all those years that I was working 14 and 16-hour days, sleeping 4 or 5 hours, giving her 30 minutes in a day, those years cannot be taken back. So if there's anything that I could change from the past, that would be spending less money and spending more time with my daughter. Because once they get 18 and go away to college or leave the house, you can't get those days back. So although I can't get those days back, I can only enjoy the days we have from here on. I can share my wisdom with you, parents, and especially ladies, because I don't think fathers wrestle with this idea of perfection. You know, with fathers, I am what I am and it is what it is. But with mothers, we wrestle with this ideal of perfection. Ladies, it's presence that's more important than perfection. Perfection should not even be your goal, should not even be an idea in your mind, but being present with your children. When they walk into the room, your eyes light up, your heart lights up, and that child knows that I'm the apple of my mom's eye. And it's not the clothes being perfectly ironed and all the wash getting done and the house being immaculate. All those things are good. But it's being present with your children that's most important. When your child grows up and leaves the house, it's not the immaculate house they're going to remember. It's not how well you dress them. It's not how much money you gave them for allowance. What's going to be most important is those memories of the time you spent together when you showed up and were present and happy. I hope this helps somebody. Let's slow down and enjoy life and enjoy our children and enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other. Y'all be blessed and welcome to the blessed place.